Hello everyone, this is iKonakona playing some Battlefield 3. Now this video is all about the attack helicopter, and boy do I love using the attack helicopter. Unfortunately it doesn't spawn that often and it's kind of hard to get into it, but once you get into the attack helicopter, boy it can be super powerful. Now the attack helicopter is slightly different than the scout helicopter and the transport helicopter. The attack helicopter has 2 seats for 2 people, and basically those 2 people can actually do something with the vehicle. You can actually control different aspects of the vehicle. Unlike a scout helicopter, which only has 1 seat with, that can fly and shoot the gun at the same time, the attack helicopter has 2 seats. One is the primary pilot, the one in charge of flying the actual helicopter, and he can control things like rockets and missiles. And you have the gunner seat, which is what I'm in right now. Secondary gunner seat, who is in control of a gun mounted on the nose of the helicopter. And when you have 2 people in this helicopter, it's super powerful because you basically have a machine gunner. Oh, here we get a fly a little too low there. But yeah, when you have 2 people in the attack helicopter, it's super powerful because the gunner can take care of infantry that you yourself, as a pilot, like I am right now, can't take care of. Now, right now I'm flying as the pilot, and I don't really fly as a pilot too often. I like playing as the gunner. But when I'm flying as a pilot, I have to keep in mind that my gunner is really going to be more effective against infantry than me. As a pilot, my job is to really keep the nose pointed so that the gunner has a good shot on infantry, as well as take out enemy tanks with my rockets, or if I have the unlocks like guided missiles or heat-seeking missiles, I take out enemy aircraft like other helicopters and maybe even other airplanes as well. But really, as a pilot, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the nose pointed where I think the enemies are, and I don't really know where the enemies are exactly because unfortunately the guy in my helicopter right now is a gunner. He doesn't have a mic, or he's in a different squad and I can't hear him, so I have to kind of guess where the enemy is and kind of point the helicopter in that direction so that he can take care of them. But if you have people in your squad and you actually both get into the helicopter, you guys can use the mic to kind of coordinate your attacks. Here I spot this guy here and I can't really take care of him. I'm just kind of shooting, hoping to get some kind of hit, but as you can see my gunner takes care of him for him. So again, I see someone down there, all I have to do is hover, my gunner takes care of him. So it's really a team thing, or a coordinated attack when you're working with someone else in a chopper. It's really important to try and keep in mind that you do have a gunner and you want to keep the helicopter pointed towards the enemy and kind of at a good angle so that your gunner can take care of enemies. Now I've noticed that when I play in a chopper, the enemy team usually doesn't have anti-air until the chopper becomes a real threat. Like us now, we're actually killing them a lot. And now the enemy team is busting out their anti-air, their surface-to-air missiles, their shoulder-mounted stingers to take us out. So now you can see that we are getting locked on and we're desperately trying to get away. Unfortunately, I popped my flares a little bit too late, so I have to land and repair. By the way, it's tough to repair this on the fly because you have to find somewhere to land safely where the enemy can't see you, land, and then repair it. Now here's a big fail here. I repaired it, but then I don't really pay attention to my surroundings. My tail gets clipped on the building and I flip it and I destroy it. So that was my bad. That was completely my bad. So now I'm back in the gunner seat, actually playing some Rush on Karg Island here, and I have Green Neo Knight, one of my buddies on Xbox, who's the pilot, and we're actually using the mic to talk with each other over Xbox Live, and it is really helpful because we can try to coordinate our attacks. Like he can let me know if he spots someone. What we try to do is whenever someone locks onto us, whenever we get that warning sound, we're trying to look for the infantry who actually is trying to lock onto us, and he becomes our primary target because he's the one who can take us out. Here we're just doing a little bit of strafe run here, but the infantry with a SAM missile or shoulder-mounted stinger is a real threat, and trying to find him can be a task because he's one little speck on the ground that we have to take care of, and him alone can take us down with 1 or 2 missiles. So we have to try and find that guy on the ground with a stinger and take him out first. And when you have a mic with your pilot, it's a lot easier to try and find him. Now it's also important to try and spot as many enemies as you can when you're in the gunner's seat. Just like in land vehicles, the gunner not only takes care of other people that the driver can't take care of, but the gunner also is used to spot as many enemies as possible so that the driver knows where they are, and basically your entire team knows where they are so that you can take them out. Now, as for which unlocks to use when you're playing as a chopper gunner or as a pilot, oh, by the way, here, look at this. This is an awesome save. Here, we're getting damaged a lot. We're down below 50%, and I'm just desperately trying to guard us so that we can land this thing and repair it. And we're behind enemy lines, by the way, so we have to jump out really quick, repair it, and luckily he jumps back in, and so we're good to go again. But that was clutch right there. We thought we were going to get spotted, and someone was going to come over that hill and get us. But yeah, as for which unlocks to use as a chopper gunner or a chopper pilot, I recommend having flares ready. Definitely flares, because once you start to do real work on the enemy, they're going to bust out their anti-air and their stingers, and you're going to need those flares to get out of sticky situations. Now, what's nice is that the chopper gunner and the chopper pilot can both have flares at the same time, and that's actually what we have for this setup and we're playing right now. Green Neo Knight here, he's the pilot, and he has flares, and I also have flares as the gunner. So what we try to do is, and we'll fail at this a bunch of times because I'm not popping it at the right moment, but what he does is he pops his flares first, and he lets me know over the mic that he has popped his flares. Now, once the enemy misses that shot, they're going to try and lock on again. But luckily, since I have flares, you know, I can pop my flares and protect ourselves even longer. Unfortunately, there, I wasn't really paying attention, and I wasn't popping the flares fast enough. Now I'm going to turn up the volume here so that you can actually hear what it sounds like to be locked on to. And, you know, don't panic when you hear this. So did you hear that? Did you hear how it was beeping at first and then all of a sudden it turned into a solid tone? That means the enemy has a solid lock on us, but we don't pop the flares because he's actually trying to make us pop our flares prematurely. There's a certain time to actually pop your flares, and it's when that solid tone becomes a more high-pitched alert sound. And I'll show you again like this, where here we're going to get locked on again, and listen to the sound. So I hope you heard the 3 distinct stages of being locked on and being fired at. When you're locked on, or when you're trying to get locked on, basically you hear this beeping sound. When they successfully lock onto you, it becomes a solid tone. And when the missile is in the air and it's coming towards you, it becomes that high-pitched alert beeping sound. And that is when you want to actually pop your flares, is when the missile is in the air and you hear that 3rd stage of the alert sound. Now, I've taken down a lot of enemy choppers without firing a single shot, and that's because all I'm doing is I'm locking onto them and I'm making them panic and freak out until they crash the helicopter. A lot of new pilots don't know about these 3 stages of alert sounds, and that only in the last stage, that's when the rocket is actually in the air and coming for you. Usually they think that when the beeping turns into a solid tone, that's when they're being fired at, and that's not true. It's only when you're being locked onto, so you should pop your flares on the last stage of the alert sound. That way, the missile misses you, the person who shot at you has to reload, and you can reload your flares, or that gives you a time to actually flee and actually find some cover, or just go to a different part of the map and avoid that guy who's trying to shoot at you. Now, this concept of popping the flares at the right moment works for other vehicles that have countermeasures like this, like the jets that have flares, as well as the land vehicles like tanks that have the IR smoke. This works the same way, and it's a really effective strategy for avoiding getting shot, because sometimes you can't last very long out there, like in a helicopter. If you get hit once, you're probably going to go down really quickly, so it's really important to make sure that you don't get hit at all. So I hope you guys learned a few things about attack helicopters in Battlefield 3. They're so much fun, so if you get a chance, try and fly in them, because they're a lot of fun and they're really, really powerful. If you're new around here and you enjoyed the video, you can click on that yellow button and subscribe to me. Also, 2 videos you may have missed. On the left, I'm playing as some weird loadouts on Lakeside with my brother Prof Snape, so it's a dual con with him, and we have a lot of fun on this match. And on the right, I play in the APC on Sane Crossing, and yeah, APCs, they're really powerful too, so it's really, really fun. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.